You'll be really surprised that a lot of P2P lending apps, peer-to-peer lending apps are very generous. They actually, and they don't ask a lot of questions. So into this conversation, what I want to do, I want to share with you a few of them. They're really good and they can give you the cash you need real quick. So here is a review I want you to really pay attention to. Number 5, we have here Lending Club. Our score 8.9 over 10. So when you think about Lending Club, I mean, as a peer-to-peer P2P lending app, you have to think about an app that's really great for debt consolidation. So this is where Lending Club is really great. Okay, and minimum credit score 550 to 600. The APR range for their loans like 830 to 35%, 36% sometimes, and the loan amounts very generous. We are speaking about $1,000 to $40,000. So you can actually apply maximum. You can apply for maximum $40K through Lending Club as a peer-to-peer personal loan platform or app. Okay, and the reason why we actually picked up Lending Club is that they actually were, one of the OGs in this sector, so to speak. One of the original platforms, P2P platforms, and they happen to be the largest online lending platform for personal loans, as a matter of fact. Okay, and the cool thing is that they actually issue loans in every state except Iowa, and they have actually been doing this for the last 10 to 20 years. So this is really great. Okay. And one thing I want to say also is that with the Lending Club, you do have a constellation of tools. They actually help you. They actually explain things to you. They have a great, let's say, personal finance, educational set of resources that actually help you not only get money, borrow, but also know how to manage your finances. Okay. By the way, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. And so when we speak about Lending Club, I just want to give you the pros and cons. So here are the pros. They will directly pay off third-party creditors as part of balance transfer loans. Co-applicants are permitted, and they are available. The loan is available to borrowers with fair to poor credit. Okay. And what about the cons? Well, there are origination and late fees. You have limited loan term availability, and you have a high APR range. Sometimes they want you to repay the loan within three years or 2 years. It really depends. Okay. So long story short, Lending Club is a great P2P platform to actually get a personal loan from, even if you have bad credit. Number 4 here, we have Lending Point. Our score 9 over 10. So Lending Point is kind of cool. If you are looking for a P2P, let's say a platform or app for flexible financing options. What does that mean? That means that they're not really asking you a lot of questions, okay? And that you can use the cash for a lot of things. It depends on you. The APR is kind of decent too. You're looking at 8% to 36%. This is really good. In terms of a FICO score, you're looking at 550, some cases 525 minimum, okay? Now, in terms of the loan amount, you are looking at $2,000 all the way to $36,500. And what we love about Lending Point is the speed with which they release funds. Really, really fantastic. And Lending Point actually offers personal and business loans in 48 states and Washington, D.C. Okay, so loans right now, as of the date of this show, are really not available in Nevada and West Virginia. So if you happen to live in those 2 states, you are out of luck. Okay, and so Lending Club actually does provide personal loans, P2P, peer-to-peer personal loan that are unsecured. So they're not asking you to provide any kind of collateral here. Let me dig a little deeper here in terms of the analysis. Let's go granular here. What are the pros and cons of Lending Point? The pros. You receive loan funds as soon as the next business day after approval. You can pre-qualify with a soft credit inquiry that will not harm your credit. Okay, so we don't have a hard pull here, at least initially. And you can use the Lending Point app to manage your loan, track your credit score, and more. So this is really great. What about the cons? Lending Point as a P2P lender does not allow co-signers or co-borrowers, and you as a borrower, you have to pay an origination fee of up to 6% of the loan amount. Okay, sometimes it can go to 7%. It really depends. And P2P, so this P2P lender, Lending Point, may not report to all 3 of the major credit bureaus. So this could be a problem here. Okay, and so I really want to sort of remind you of today's topic. What are we talking about? We're talking about the top 5 P2P lending apps that are very generous. They don't ask a lot of questions, okay, and that approve you real fast. So you need to understand that you can actually use lending points, personal loans for a lot of things. For paying for a debt, fixing a car, or remodeling a kitchen, or consolidating debt. It really depends on you, okay? And they tend to approve applications real fast. Number 3, we have here Prosper. Our score 9.3 over 10. So when you think about Prosper, I want you to think about a P2P, a peer-to-peer lending app that is really great for personal loans, for credit scores that are low. That really they start you at 600. They start you at 500. So they go from 500 to 600. So this is really good. And the APR goes from 7% to 36%. Really good. And Prosper tends to be very generous. In other words, they will approve you for loan amounts oscillating from $2,000 to $50,000. Okay. So the cool thing is that Prosper has been kicking ass for the last nearly 20 years, if you really think about it, because they actually they originated in 2005. So they are a peer-to-peer lending platform that was founded in 2005. Okay, and we love the fact that they actually have flexible personal loan amounts and they have flexible borrower qualifications. So here are the pros and cons I really want you to pay attention to. Pros: they have flexible loan amounts, so loans are available, let's say, for 3 or 5 year terms, and APRs are kind of decent. I said this before, 7% to 36%. You have accessible minimum credit score that can go all the way to 500, and funding in as few as 3 days. This is really cool. Also, what about the cons? Well, they do charge an origination fee, and sometimes they charge late fees. Okay, but hey, listen, all those platforms, they tend to do that. That's like another way for them to make money. So there's not really anything you can do about that. And so they're only available for 3 and 5 year terms. This is another detriment. That could be a detriment depending on your situation. And they do have a high maximum APR. So this is hey, listen, it is what it is. So if they're flexible in terms of APR, that's for sure. But they will charge you they'll charge you crazy amounts to sort of compensate for the extra risk that they're taking. But overall, Prosper is a great platform, and we love the fact that you can actually use the loan for a constellation of objectives for everything. You can even use the cash to consolidate debt, to do emergency home repair, a lot of things, medical expenses and whatnot. Number 2, we have Upstart. Our score 9.7 over 10. So when you think about Upstart, I want you to think about a P2P, a peer-to-peer lending app that is great for loans as low as $1,000. See, a lot of lenders, they don't have minimums that go all the way to let's say single digits. So to speak, so single digit. And we love the fact that Upstart is really trying to work with the borrower here. So they will actually lend you anywhere from $1,000 all the way to $50,000. Okay, minimum credit score 600 here, and the APR that we're talking about. We love Upstart because their minimum APR is really great, 5.40%. Think about that. Their maximum APR is 36%. That's like the legal maximum rate for all loans here. Okay, and what we love about Upstart is that they are really innovative, and they actually have an artificial intelligence and AI driven tool to sort of aid in the underwriting process. So the thing is that they actually look at when they are, like, if you were to apply for an Upstart personal loan, they will look at your credit score, of course, but they will look at a diversity of other metrics to qualify you. They'll look at your resume. Okay, they'll look at the economic potential for the job and the experience you have. Let's say if you are a doctor, even if the economy was going down, even if the economy was going crazy down, Upstart might approve you because they attach great economic value to the doctor profession. So this is how great the Upstart really is. Okay, so what are the pros and cons of this tool? Pros: they are accessible to borrowers with fair credit. They do offer pre-qualification with a soft credit check. All of them, by the way. And you have the ability to choose a custom payment date. And what about the cons? They do charge you an origination fee of up to, let's say, 8% of the loan amount, and not secured. Okay, there's no secured or a loan or co-signer option, and loans are available in 3 or 5 year terms. Okay. By the way, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. What are we having a conversation about? I'm speaking to you about the top 5 P2P lending apps. They are very generous. They offer a high approval, and they really are really great when it comes to approving loans real fast. So with Upstart, you have a constellation of benefits also, because they actually look at they look at your college education. I just said that. They look at your job history, your residence, your debt to income ratio, your bankruptcy history, and your delinquency history, and a number of credit inquiries to sort of have a holistic view about your situation before approving or denying you. So, and the good thing is that they have a minimum annual income requirement of $12,000. So this is really good. And they have a very fast turnaround time to when it comes to approving you. They do have a next big business day funding, so this is really good. Number 1, the best of the best when it comes to peer-to-peer lending app. They're very generous. They do a soft pull. They approve really fast. SoFi. Our score 9.9 over 10. I mean, we love SoFi. And SoFi has a lot of exclusive borrower benefits. This is really good. First of all, in terms of minimum credit score, they will actually accept you from 550 to 680. That's the minimum credit score. Loan amounts, check this out. Loan amounts go from $5,000 all the way to $100,000. This is really, really great. $100,000. Fantastic. And in terms of the APR range, you are looking at 8.99% to 24.39%. And they have a lot of discounts, okay? And I really want to specify the fact that the maximum APR for SoFi is 23.43%, where the other players, they were actually charging you potentially $35.99. SoFi is maintaining a cap on its APR, so this is really cool, okay? And we have to see it. And the term length here, a very long term length also, you are looking at 24 to 84 months. So that's 2 years all the way to 7 years. Fantastic. So really, I mean, for us, SoFi is the best of the best when it comes to peer-to-peer lenders because they have a positive overall approach to its customers. Okay, they actually call their customers members. Okay, they have low rates, they have high loan limits, and there are no fees required. And SoFi borrowers get access to career coaching. They have financial planning services, and they even have estate planning services. So really, when you think about it, that's just fantastic. So what are the pros and cons here? The pros: they have competitive interest rates, they have no fees required, and they have paused payments for unemployment. So if you happen to go through stuff like temporarily, SoFi is willing to pause the payments for you as long as you're able to negotiate that with them. Okay. And what about the cons? They have a high minimum loan amount. So if you the minimum is $5,000. If you wanted to, let's say, borrow for less than $5,000, they're not going to actually approve you. Okay. So when we talk about SoFi, we have a constellation of perks. We have low interest rates, no fees required. You have large loan amounts. You can check rates without affecting your credit score, right? You have same day funding. You have easy to use mobile app, and you have access to member benefits. So this is really cool. Okay, really, really cool. And overall, fantastic app. Fantastic. I want to give you a bonus. So if you have been listening to me so far and you are still with me, I love you. God bless you. And I want to share with you another app that you will love for sure. And this is Lending Tree. Our score 8.6 over 10. So Lending Tree is a fantastic P2P lending platform and app. And their minimum credit score is 600. This is really cool. Okay. Loan amount starts at $1,000 and go all the way to $50,000. And the APR range is a decent 6.70% to 36%. And this is really cool. And in terms of term length, you are looking at 12 to 60 months. So 1 to 5 years. This is really cool. And this is kind of, it gives you a lot of flexibility to reorganize or organize your budget to actually plan loan payments properly and to really sort of navigate the whole loan application process very, very, very properly. So for us, the bottom line when it comes to LendingTree is that if you are those who hope to minimize the amount paid in interest, LendingTree offers loan with flexible terms. So this peer-to-peer lender also offers one of the lowest interest rates in the industry, perfect for the well-qualified borrower. Okay, so here are the pros and cons of this lender. Pros: loans as small as 1,000 are good for covering small emergencies. Co-signers are accepted. Low APRs available to highly qualified borrowers. Loans are available to applicants with fair credit. And so basically, LendingTree takes the guesswork out of rate shopping. What about the cons? Well, the APR can be extremely high. I told you before, you can see that 36% depending on your credit worthiness, and origination fees add to loan expenses. Some lender partners conduct only hard credit checks. So in other words, originally you're not having a soft pull as promised. So you always have this risk, okay? And some lender partners charge a prepayment penalty. So something that's important to know. And they can actually take up to 7 business days to receive the funds. And this is one thing we don't like about LendingTree because, if you need the cash in an emergency, let's say you need the cash real quick, they'll have to spend time and just force you to sit your ass around for 7 days. That's kind of crazy. So it's one of those things where we believe that the LendingTree can do a better job at managing the whole underwriting process and getting back to borrowers real quick, and after they have filled the application. So, but here it is what it is. It is their money anyway. You're the one who is actually trying to get a few things here. Okay. Let me give you an overview before we actually close to this conversation. See, let's go back to the origins. So what is peer-to-peer lending? What is a P2P lending 101? So a peer-to-peer lending is a type of lending that allows borrowers to take out loans from individuals or groups of individuals instead of banks or other financial institutions. And this type of lending has become increasingly popular in recent years because the underwriting standards are often more lenient than traditional bank loans, okay? And so how does a peer-to-peer lending really work? Well, P2P lending platforms match borrowers with individuals or groups of investors who are willing to lend money. And the P2P marketplace manages the application process, moves the loans through underwriting, and evaluates the level of risk the borrower poses, okay? The marketplace also sets interest rates. So based on this determination, the platform matches the borrower with appropriate investors who can review the loan and choose whether to fund it. And so the lending platform also handles loan funding and repayment, so borrowers do not work directly with their lenders, and they never do, okay? So there are actually some pros and cons when it comes to peer-to-peer lending. So peer-to-peer lending the whole loans, the personal loans, those loans are a great option for borrowers who are not qualified for traditional forms of financing or who needs funds quickly. Okay. But one thing I need to say here is that this type of loan is not a good fit for everyone. So it's really essential to consider the pros and cons before committing to terms. Okay. Let me just kind of go a little granular here. So what are the pros and cons here? Pros: a P2P personal loan is easier to qualify for, even if you have a bad credit or no credit history. It does have a more streamlined application and underwriting process that can lead to faster funding. What about the cons? Well, in some cases, they may require a hard credit inquiry that can cause the borrower's credit score to drop. And so there are origination fees that are similar to those that apply to more traditional loans. And there are fewer hardship options than larger financial institutions, which can increase the chances of borrower default. Okay, but overall, this is what it is. And yes. Let me give you a few pro tips before we close to this conversation. Okay, it's really important to understand that when we talk about P2P lending platform, you need to be in a situation where you are applying from a position of strength. What does that mean? It means that before you actually attempt to apply for a P2P personal loan, make sure that you check your credit report. Okay. I mean, even if they actually will approve you with a FICO score as low as 500, it's always really good to make sure that you can boost your FICO score a little bit before you apply. Because remember, the APR they're giving you and other terms and conditions are determined in part based on your credit score. So the higher your credit score, the better. So I just want you to make sure right now that you check your credit score on Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax to make sure that you are able to know exactly what's in there. And you can do so by submitting one simple form at annualcreditreport.com. Okay, so this gives you the opportunity to check your 3 credit reports and scores. And you want to stay current with your bills. Really important, okay? Because as you really understand, each late or missed payments lowers your credit score. So in addition to paying all current bills on time, you want to focus on getting caught up on anything that may be overdue. And do not close paid off accounts, okay? This is very important. Try to apply for credit only when you need it. And sometimes you can try to get help from the outside. Things like rent paid to a landlord and utility payments are not typically reported to the credit bureaus. So you need to actually go to, there are companies that actually help you report those transactions every month to the credit bureaus. And so here is a winner for you. So when does a P2P personal loan make sense? Well, it does make sense when you have a low credit score, for example. If you find that you don't qualify for a traditional personal loan due to having a poor credit score, you may actually find a peer-to-peer lender more forgiving. If you also have a high credit score, you might want to consider, let's say, a P2P platform, because when comparing the best personal loans, include a few peer-to-peer lenders in your equation. Okay, it may be a peer-to-peer lender that offers the lowest rate and best loan terms. If you own a small business, you could also try to get a P2P personal loan. So that's really it. Okay, before we actually close to this conversation, let me just share with you the very rigorous, the very methodical approach that we have when it comes to evaluating, when it comes to categorizing, when it comes to listing peer-to-peer lending apps on this show. Check this out. All right, let's quickly recap here. So number 1, we have SoFi, our score 9.9 over 10. Number 2, we have Upstart, our score 9.7 over 10. Number 3, we have Prosper, our score 9.3 over 10. Number 4, we have Lending Point, our score we have 9 over 10. Number 5, we have here Lending Club, our score 8.9 over 10. And in the bonus category, we have a Lending Tree, our score 8.6 over 10. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.